Okay, hi, my name's Daniel. Today we are going to explore a really cool little park, the 100 Acres Art Nature Park, Virginia B. Fairbanks. It's got a pretty big map. We'll see what we can get to. So, this park called the 100 Acre Park, I believe because it is 100 acres, but maybe I shouldn't be so confident in that. It was built in association with the Indianapolis Museum of Art, which is also now known as the Newfields Museum of Art. And it's got a bunch of different outdoor, mostly interactive art exhibits, art experiences. This is a place I've been many times over the several years, and it's changed quite a bit. Installations are removed or added, and this is generally a pretty well taken care of space. There's never very much vandalism or anything, and in some spots, like on this path, there's a lot of growth of plants, but it's not overgrown. It's just nature. So, I see an exhibit I may have already missed, so we're going to backtrack for a moment and go see what it is. Hoosier Heritage. Oh, so this isn't... Cool. So this tree was planted 5 years ago now. And they hope it's going to be pretty old. That's cool. One of the cool things about this park is that it's not an art museum with incredibly curated trails. Like, there are its main paths, but like we walk out here into the grass a little bit, and now we're at a play patch for kids. We can make a stick for it. I don't think I'm going to right now, but I could. And we're stepping up to another exhibit. This one's been here a long time. In a moment we'll look up the name of it, because I don't know off the top of my head, but it's really eerie to walk into an empty clearing in what otherwise could just be a regular forest and just see these huge rings. We'll stand directly under them, see what that's like. Ooh. Yeah, that's just an open field otherwise. That's so eerie and creepy. There is a sign for it over here though, so we will check that out. Type A. Cool. So now, let's go this way. Over this hill is probably something that, if you've paid attention to movies or media in the past decade, you'll be aware of. Because one of these pieces was featured in a pretty famous John Green novel, Fault in Our Stars. And it was also part of the movie, was shot here. So, we're coming up over it. I know the name of this one. It's called Funky Bones, because it's a big old skeleton. This park has changed landscaping since I was last here. It's been a few years. So here's Funky Bones. And the whole point is they're just fiberglass bones, and you step on them, and you play on them and have a good time. Whew, and not fall. Ugh. Ugh. And there he is, the funky man himself. Ooh. Oh goodness. I can't jump that one. The funky man himself. But a thing I just noticed, I already knew there, hopefully you can see it, there's a little yellow weird bench structure over there and over there. Those already existed, but I recall those being at this park around, but I don't recall them being way over there. So they've either been moved or they were always there and I didn't know it. What you can kind of see from here is a big lake. Also, here's the sign for Funky Bones. We're going here because I don't recall these being here before. These little periscopes. That's very fun. Getting kids more interacted with this. This park's definitely improved since I was last here. There used to be an exhibit, 2 exhibits actually, that were on the lake and not in the, the land surrounding it. One of which we may see the sign for used to just to sit here even though the exhibit was gone. But it was a half-sunken boat looking thing and it terrified me. I was not a fan of it. And then I'll tell you about the other one once we get over to this platform over here. Here's another stadium pier. That's for where we're headed. So this is another piece of art we're walking on, a little metal pier, and we're going to be very cautious. This is one of those things that it'll give you kind of like vertigo walking on. Oh, this also kind of freaks me out a little bit. But with these weird steps, a funky looking pier. Anyways, right around to the left of me is where that sunken boat used to be. Terrifying. But there used to be, towards that side of the lake, a white dome looking object that floated in the middle. And I never saw it when it was completely active. The dome used to exist there. I can't recall what it was titled. But the whole idea of it was that the artist would live on it. Or someone would live on it for brief periods of time. And when I first came to this park, it was already through with that and was just an empty dome sitting. You can also see, way across the lake maybe, another one of those yellow benches. So we actually did pass this earlier, but I don't believe I caught it on camera, this next installation. It's a swing set for, kids that's meant to, I believe it is out of an actual tree that they felled and then turned into a swing set. It's pretty cool. Oh, there's another map over here. We'll look at that again. So, this whole left portion is the park we are at. This is the loop that you can't cross. So here's the pier we were just at. This is a huge lake. Just gigantic. We're going to go this way. I'm not sure how many more installations are left. There used to be several right there in the woods. And there is a bridge that we might cross that goes to the actual art museum itself. We'll see. There's another yellow bench. We'll head this way. There used to be, I think it's still here, yeah. Oh, we'll see what condition this is in. This is Park of the Laments. Another exhibit that I used to really, really enjoy. It's this walkway. Being alone, it's a little creepy, but being daytime, it's not too bad. Oh, is it muddy? Oh, I don't want to walk through the mud. I'll just deal with it, I suppose. That was the worst ASMR I could possibly imagine. But we come out from this to a lot of plants up these steps. We'll see what it's like. Up here used to be full of flowers, so who knows what it's like now. Okay. A little different. Not really any flowers, but it's this pretty sort of hidden garden. It's pretty big. I could imagine having a nice picnic up here. It's very secluded and it's away from Funky Bones and the big attractions people bring their kids to normally. Really pretty. Used to be full of just colorful flowers all along this. Still nice though without them. It almost looks like we could leave that way. But I'm not gonna go. I don't know where that leads. We're gonna go back in the spooky tunnel. Back through the mud. And I've been here before when they've actually closed off this whole exhibit. There's like one of those pull down gates up here in the front. So I imagine if it's going through any sort of refurb, they pull that down. Let's go this way. This area of the park is the one that the paths have evolved the most over my course of time coming here. So, hopefully we'll see it a little bit. Yeah, if we were to go straight on this path further, there's a bridge, a little seating area now, but as this sign says, it'll go towards the IMA, Indianapolis Museum of Art. You know what, let's walk up to the bridge. The body of water that crosses up here is part of the White River that runs through Indianapolis. And it looks like it's actually locked. We could not cross that bridge right now if we wanted to. Interesting. But there is a cute little bench, some signs telling you what's up if you were to continue down this path. If we cross that bridge, we would go up to the Indianapolis Museum of Art. Although we couldn't right now. And this gravel path that goes around both directions will take you that way, pretty far north. I don't actually know where it ends that way. But if we were to go south, you'll hit Indianapolis eventually. Well, we're in Indianapolis. You'll hit downtown. And I just noticed there's actually some kite string or some fishing line going in there. Interesting. So we're going to, again, another map. Just to give you an idea of what's up. We are here. Oh. I'm not actually sure if there's anything left over here. I don't see anything on the maps. Ooh! I'll take one of these. Thank you. Souvenir map. Love that. Deep in these woods, which is where we're going to start walking, there used to be an exhibit. Again, I don't know what it was called. I don't remember. But the whole concept of it was dozens and dozens of arrows pointing every which way and miscellaneous signs to like where they were pointing. And a lot of them were silly things where it would be like pointing, like the word would say up, but it's pointing down. or it'd be like someone that is happy and it's pointing to a random direction, and that'd be like a photo op, right? You would get to point. It was just a lot of things, a lot of silly phrases or things. It was just a bunch of arrows. It was unique, I think. Oh, we're coming up to another one of these benches. I think I saw on the map just now that these are called the bench around the lake, benches around the lakes, benches around the park, something like that. There's many of them. Some of them you can actually sit on. Some are bent around in such a way that you couldn't hope to. Oh. Well, we've arrived at a fork. There's a bridge that way. This might take us back to the river. I think it will. We'll go this way anyways. A little metal bridge. Not really, there's no water. Maybe during flood season there's water. This park is also a pretty popular, simple hiking destination, because assuming you're not trying to get around the side that's eroded, it's all just casual trails. No steep grades or anything. What is this? Hang on. What does that say? These benches are remnants of trees. What? Oh. These benches? Okay. Learned something new. Glad we came this way. This big mulch field is very new to me. The native pollinator meadow. That's interesting. There's another bench down there at the end. We'll keep headed this way. The visitors pavilion is this way. I'm not sure. There has never been much here when I've been here before. The visitors pavilion is kind of in a weird spot because the parking lot is about as far away from this pavilion as you could get. So really the only reason you would be going here is if you came in through a back entrance, which I dare say there's not really a back entrance. This park is not fenced in or anything. It's public space, free to walk through, free to park in their parking lot. But the back side of this borders Michigan Road, which is just a road. So if you walk in through there, you're in. That's a fun one. You could sit on that. Might be a little interesting, but yeah, the back side of this is Michigan Road. The front entrance is 38th Street. And then the right border would be that White River Canal, and the left border would be, or the west border, I suppose, is the actual White River proper. What is going on here? There's a lot of paths. I was trying to find the visitor center, and I'm not quite sure where it is from here. I know I'm holding a map in my hand, but isn't it more fun to just explore? Oh, I think this is the right path. Yes, the wooden bridge. I almost feel like this lights up, because these are interlaced wooden and then like a clear plastic, something like that. Feels like it should light up. Here's the visitor pavilion. I have never seen anything going on here. It's currently closed, yeah. while hosting a summer camp. Well, there are actually things going on in there right now. That's interesting. I've never seen anything going on here. But this is a neat little building. This park is just full of places that would be fantastic picnic spots. Okay, so, sorry. Now we're going to find a way out of here, I suppose. Leaving this visitor's pavilion, which is very much a little hidden gem back here. Again, I've never seen it open, but I suppose whenever it is open, it's a nice sight. Here's another play patch. These play patches are also new. I don't ever recall these. Create a delicious mud pie. Well, I'd rather not. There's some nice rocks, though. We've got another one of these benches. Oh, we could definitely sit on that one. I really should make a video that's just rating all of the benches at this park and how easy it is to sit on them. We're going to continue we're headed north right now, so again, away from the main entrance. We're headed towards Michigan Road. And if I recall correctly, there used to be the remnant columns from an old train bridge somewhere around here. We'll see if I can find those. Again, we've got another bench. There's really quite a few of them. I'm really not sure how many. Seems there's more every time I'm here. That one's poetic. Here's another bench. I'll go down this path just a little bit. Just to where it gets rough. Here's a little... Oh, this is cool. Talking about what's going on with the path. What they're doing to fix it. It's very cool. Yeah, because it's this wide. This is almost as wide as the rest of the paths around the park, and it shows how bad it used to be. I definitely walked it when it was like that. Very cool. Showing what they are actually doing. I wonder if you could do a full loop around now. We might. I just hate to turn back, especially since it's starting to rain. But I'll do it. So we can see some of the White River on this side. So this is the northwest side of the park over here. You can see some of the rapids sort of things from the White River. Not a river that you really want to swim in. Not that this is a lake you'd really want to swim in either. That white dome I was talking about earlier used to be on this side, this corner. And you can see over there the little green pier that we were on earlier. Way over there. Huge lake. I will give you a word of advice should you ever come to this park. Explore it. This is definitely the kind of place kids would enjoy with how you can interact with the art. But more so is, if you come when it's cold, if there's snow on the ground, it's really, really pretty. Just be careful, especially if you come over here where you're much closer to a drop into the water. But go down to where the other side of the lake, where you can get right up to the water, where there's some people down there fishing right now. And if the lake's frozen over with ice, grab a rock or a chunk of ice and try skipping it on that frozen lake like you would skip a rock on water. It produces one of the coolest sounds I've ever heard. in the snow, all of it, because it just echoes through these trees. You will not regret it, I promise. This whole path, it's a little thinner here, so you can tell they probably haven't had to put in as much effort yet. Some people down there fishing. They haven't had to put in as much effort on this side of the lake yet, because it's still fairly built up around. But I imagine this will be the next step, is making this a larger path, more accessible. But I used to be scaling trees with friends trying to get around this because there was no dirt on some sections. There was just a couple trees and barely hanging on. Oh, another bench. He's a sight for sore eyes. Didn't expect to see him around here. I can hear the rain. I hope you can hear them in this audio. You can hear the rain hitting the leaves on the trees above me, but I'm not getting wet because they're covering all of it. Here's the river again. Now that's a steep drop. I'm not going to get much closer. Very cool. I wish I had walked in a circle when I started this tour. I wouldn't have needed to backtrack any. That's okay. Looks like there's a trash can ahead of us. What is that? Oh, a bench. That one's cute. Sitting right along the river. Oh, yeah. That's a trash can. I didn't really expect to see that here. I also see another bench up ahead. That bench also looks fairly easy to sit on. I believe the concept and idea of these benches is that the parts that look like they extend underground are going under the lake. What is this? Telling you the trail may be impassable. Well, it was passable. Cool. We're back around towards the front now, where we've been. We're gonna pass Funky Bones again. Good friend Funky Bones. Here is the swing set I was talking about. I believe this is called Chopsticks. Sounds right. Oh, chopstick. Yeah, close. We have one last exhibit that's actually in the parking lot, which is why we didn't see it when we first got here. Hopefully we have enough battery to make it to the parking lot. probably see it as we're nearing the top of this hill. It's these big red and blue loops, I guess I could say, bouncing, and then a few basketball goals. And when I pulled in, there were actually some people out here playing basketball. Not exactly sure what basketball rules you need to use on this court, but well, those look like fairly regulation height backboards. Free basket. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's a pretty free basket. Cool. Thank you for coming with me on this trip to the Virginia Beach Fairbanks 100-acre art park. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.